Hello everyone! Pino and Apple here, and sneaking up on me, having forgot about it in the week leading up to it, is the newest episode of the amazing digital circus, episode 5, Untitled. It's been a fair while since the last episode, and while the rarity of episodes is really good for the animators, as once again, this episode looks visually sound, and at least to me, they seem to get better with every episode. But it does sap some of my care factor. But at least it's a nice feeling when a new one sneaks up on you. Why don't we get into the episode, and while good, see if it can step up from last episode. We start with the characters already having finished an adventure, Kane welcoming them back far better than when he did it last time.
Skibidi Sigma!
Ragatha, her usual too upbeat self, a common thread in this episode as Jax mentions. The episode, while not focused solely on a character like the last two with Kinger and Gangle, is far more focused on developing everyone's dynamic, with Jax and Ragatha at the forefront. Another mystery is also set up as a mannequin doll person is seen hiding in the background of the circus, quite possibly a great joke character later, or something more. Kane is suffering, continuing his whole self-worth issues as no one is enjoying his ideas, and if I had one major criticism, I don't think Bubble is as funny in this episode.
Not to mention the sex appeal.
What are you talking about?
Zubul reveals they and Pomni actually enjoyed the last suggestion box idea, even if the others found it a bit traumatic. So Kane's plan is for a lightning round of suggestions with a skip voting system. The first is Poacher's Paradise. Funny enough in style and comedy, but is aptly sized. I don't think the joke would work any longer. Although I like how the whole making Jax a vegan for the rest of the episode pays off comedically, even if, when you think about it, there are horrific implications. The second skit is President Pomni. Wow, 2 for 2 with P alliterations. And this is one of my favourites. Everything in it really comes together, even the strange Monica Lewinsky joke. For how all over the place this episode is, it gets a great amount of laughs and character moments. After another Bubble joke that doesn't really land, the next skit is anime themed, and now I'm understanding why this episode took so long to release. This sort of style was used lightly in episode 3, but this animation must have taken a lot of time and effort. Jax is back to being a little insufferable, but the jokes about the genre are really nice, and Gangle gets to be cute.
Alright, class, today we're gonna learn the popular foreign language known as English.
Next is Stargazing, and it's visually and comedically really nice. It also starts up the character exploration. Jax criticizing Gangle's mental health, leading Ragatha to air some really dirty laundry right after Jax shows he's capable of genuine human emotion, really setting the rabbit off. And this character shift is really effective, seeing his demeanor change so harshly from shit-eating prodding to fury, and Pomni stuck in the middle of the drama, implying that Jax lost someone in the circus. Ragatha's optimism pissing him off and feeling fake to him, which is not only an interesting thing to do with Ragatha, as that characterization for whatever reason she's doing it does fit with how we've seen her, but also helps explain why Jax goes out of his way to be an asshole, perhaps feeling that interactions like that are more genuine, rather than in Ragatha's unending positivity. Sure, Jax is still a massive dick, but I really like his interactions with Pomni, not apologizing for his behavior, but Pomni seeming to understand him better, actually wanting to interact with him by the end. Kane freaks out again and starts an intermission. And yeah, it's well done, visually interesting. It's teased that the friend Jax lost is possibly this frog character, but my god, it just feels like padding. An utter waste to pad the runtime in a show that doesn't have to fit into a TV space. So why there needs to be padding, I've no idea. The next clip we get is a really well animated bar scene. Love the colour palette. We get a lot of character details here, explaining who some of them were in the real world, doing well to flesh out the characters a bit more, and connecting how they got into the circus, entering abandoned buildings being the thread.
Well, after my lung cancer diagnosis, me and my junkie associate from a chemistry class I used to teach
Yeah, I figured. How about you, Gangle?
Hey, I wasn't done.
Ragatha tries to continue in her fake happiness, even while explaining her tragic backstory, continuing the trend of her ignoring the sad things with her happy facade. Jax gets another moment where he reacts to Ragatha going all serious for a moment, but immediately deflects by making fun of Kinger. Like I said before, the character moments, even if in the long run don't seem to progress much, are really well implemented. Another strange detail is that Jack seems scared of corn. No idea why, but that's used pretty well in another subtle joke later. We get another great running gag set up with disappearing guy. Seriously, I love these jokes with him, they're great. Jax and Ragatha start using Pomni in their fight, Jax making a show of growing closer to her, causing Ragatha to spiral a bit. It's a little hard to watch, but still good stuff. The final world is shown as a baseball challenge, the opposing team filled with Vivzy Pop OCs.
Sup, I'm Evil Pomni.
I don't really get anything out of the game itself, but there are some good comedic moments coming from it. Jax is shoved in a maid outfit, showing him the most emotive he's ever been, finally getting a taste of his own cruelty. Once again, Pomni, who I love in the cap, talks with Ragatha. Not much comes of Ragatha and Jax arguing now, but Ragatha throws him off again by mentioning his most likely abstracted friend, but as seen later is still really uneasy about Jax and Pomni. In the end, this continues as Ragatha is left alone while Pomni hangs out with Jax, and the episode ends on a shot of one of the mannequin dolls watching hidden in the distance. So while the episode drops having an episode-long built-up and thematic plot, the lightning round is a great way to set up all the jokes, allowing for a big variety, and not being stuck into one place for the plot to work around. Instead, it lets us see a variety of emotional moments in the characters, and sure, unlike Kinger and Gangle, the dynamic and moments between Ragatha and Jax don't give away anything clearly, and don't have a solid resolution. It's clearly setting them up for later down the line, and I think while the focus episode concept works really well, allowing for this build-up will hopefully work really well for Jax, who, for how much baggage and how closed off he is, would feel a little cheap if he was just suddenly resolved in one episode. And in the same vein, Ragatha works really well here too, as she's been a really plain and one-note character so far. And acknowledging her strangely happy disposition and working up some jealousy in there, once again, is good build-up, and I'm hoping it'll pay off well in the future. Sure, it lacks a consistent setting, and while I laughed at a lot of the jokes, there were still stinkers. Couldn't stand Bubble, but with impressive animation, a lot of good laughs and good character moments, this might just be my favourite episode of the bunch, so I'll put it as our highest at a 7.5 out of 10. A whole point above last episode, and a half point above episode 3. Which, sure, I liked King's backstory a lot, and I really like the fact that that got resolved, but it and episode 4 repeat their formula a bit, and the different building approach here works a lot better for me. Thank you everybody for watching my review of this episode of the amazing digital circus. I've been sick for a bit, you can probably still hear it in my voice. So I tried a couple times to record a video, but I just couldn't get it done. My voice would not allow me to hold on to it consistently. But hopefully we'll be getting more back into the swing of things. Please like the video if you liked it. Comment down below if you wish, consider subscribing to the channel if you do, ring the notification bell so that you're told every single time that I make an upload. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.